I've been thinking. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Well, if you know, you know. And I have been thinking about choices. Oh, Bob Marley says so much things to say right now. I got so much things to say. So many things to say. Mainly, I should have this phone set up somewhere as I talk, and I done came out here where the mosquitoes are. Bloodsuckers. But I'm not worried about them right now. I'll take the knock for this. So, choices. Choices are very significant. And now I'm sitting right next to the AC unit, so it might pop on while I'm talking. But I wanted to come outside while it was some sunlight out and get this recorded today. Sometimes choices that people make affect others. They a lot of times people don't recognize how far that choice can flow and hit somebody way across town, a stranger that you don't even know, based on a minor choice you made that day. To explain that, I was speaking to a driver who happened to come by the job that I work at, and he subscribed to my channel the other day, and I told him just because he made a certain choice, I received a new subscriber because of his choice. So, that's a positive way of looking at it. But then choices can be really, really tough. Really tough. I mean, when I think about even just saying choice or choices, it's kind of difficult for me to have a conversation with the camera instead of having a conversation with another individual without saying my choices or your choices. There's certain pronouns that I would say we use, like my body, my way of, my emotions, things like that, my choice. So, and I may have said the wrong grammatical deal there. I said pronoun. Pronoun might be he or she or they or them. That would be my way of kind of expressing it. And the proper noun, I would assume, would be if I'm saying that right. It's been a while since I've been in school. He, she, oh no, his, theirs. Anyway, I'm not about to look that up. That's not the basis of it. You own your choices, like you own your emotions. So, I'm currently in the midst of a situation. Well, I'm going to call it a situation, but someone else's choices are affecting my current life trajectory, and it would be based on my choices as to what. Now I don't want to say what will take place, but what my choices will affect not only that person, but a plethora of others. So, of course, people in mindfulness or in other conscious circles will say, well, if there's a still pond and you throw a pebble out into that still pond, it causes a ripple effect, and that ripple reaches out to the shore. So our energies that are utilized or the decisions that we make are just, in my opinion, exactly that same example. The decision that you make, I mean, I'm not gonna say as far down as to, well, what shoe you put on first in the morning, or making the decision of what color you wear. Yes, I believe that there's something in every decision and every choice that we make. Fortunately, what I'm talking about at the moment is decisions or choices that we make that affect us emotionally and affect our physical surroundings. So I guess clothes and stuff works because you feel a certain way when you wear a certain apparel or color, or it affects other people by their visual cortex of what they see. So maybe it's like that. That's something to think about right there. But I would like for people, more than anything, to just think about choices. Think about the effect of the choices that we make. Now, it's something to say, well, is there such thing as time travel? And if there is, how does time travel work? Okay, well, in my personal opinion, as a what a word I shouldn't say, as a weirdo, is that, well, people in certain schools of thoughts will say that moments and memories are akin to one another. And if you can sit with a memory, you can, like, people will say that your body will physically relive internally. So just say you got into an argument with someone today. That argument, you may relive that argument over and over again. So that memory of that argument is creating certain emotions in you. The same emotions, 9 times out of 10, that took place when the event happened. Whether you handled it directly at the moment, whether you or addressed it directly at the moment, or moved and navigated a certain way. So choices, man, choices. I lose my train of thought when I kind of do stuff like that. But I'm not writing down, so free flowing here with the choices. There's a way that I think that just to zone in on the memory that is being created in each moment, that we can kind of begin to time travel, see into the future, understand past events, by recognizing the moment that could be created by a choice. I hope that was a understood statement. I feel like the moment created by a choice. I think that is what is very important, because it will create a memory. And so to be familiarized with moments, or to familiarize yourself with memories, to be able to create something of sort, because we create moments. This is a moment being created right now, and I don't want to go all off into the weirdo-isms, but I think I'm about to. That this is me now, not future me. I'm creating a moment for the future. I'm sure in the future of my now moment, which will probably be a now moment while I'm rewatching this, I will rewatch this, and I will hear certain things that I was thinking while I was speaking, or I will hear a thought that was not completed while I was speaking. So in this moment, I'm attempting to be forthcoming and in anticipation of the next moment, which is making me an awareness of a memory. It's a little bizarre in thought, but it's all based on a choice. And um, the choices you make can be really beneficial, or they can be, it's like, I talk to people, and I mentioned this in another broadcast before, about emotions, and just emotions being tools, and that with the tool you can build yourself up, or with the tool you can build yourself up, build somebody else up with a tool. You can also bludgeon or hurt yourself or hurt someone else with a tool. So a weapon and a emotion and a choice. Choice is attached to emotion. All these things are attached. Now I have to speak up. So, or I have to move my placement. All these things are attached. And I feel that if we are just merely aware in real time, it's kind of difficult to be in a place of turmoil, and when things around you are going astray, to kind of be able to even view your situation from a bird's eye view, from a different lens, so to speak. So I think that that's a part of my practice, I guess. As I'm in moments, I'm trying to see things from a certain angle so that I can respond a certain way, utilizing a certain energy. So, talking about energy, they talk about prana as breath, and I think that's Hindu with so in the Indian religious fashion. So the prana is the breath, and they say, well, from one guy at work, he says that it's left, right, and left nostril, Ida and Pingala. I'm not saying it correctly. A lot of people that know this know. I feel that when I came across that in a certain form of studies, it was shown as like a part of the brain stem, actually part of the nervous system running up the spine to the brain. I don't want to say from the brain to the spine, but nevertheless, something about the cartoons that showed a entity on this shoulder and an entity on that shoulder, and you had one saying something in one ear and one saying something in the other ear, and it's something that I have a contrast in my background to kind of display that. And there's something about that notion. I'm sorry, I've been getting bit up by mosquitoes, so I feel them now. They're gone, but I feel them itching. I feel it itching. So the concept of good and evil. Now, it's always shown as an external, but there's something majorly internal about it when it comes to thought, because we all think and we know our own thoughts. I can't say what's behind the next person's eyes, but I know that there's a thought rattling on back there. And I also know that all thoughts aren't quote unquote pure or positive, or and all thoughts aren't particularly negative or evil. Someone acknowledging beauty may not be lusting. They may just be simply acknowledging beauty. Now others, I don't know. You say you got two sides of the coin. But I was fortunate to go to the devil's funeral when I was young. I didn't understand it when I was there, and I don't know if I fully have conceptualized it the way the instructors brought it to the forefront. But I feel that the gist that I've received from it, or the lessons, continuous lessons that I've received from it, is true. So my grandfather was a pastor of the church, and I want to go in there and show you a photo. I need to add some stuff to this thing, but I'm not going to do too much editing. I said I was uploading at 8 p.m. today. So my grandfather, the pastor of Greater Nazarene Baptist Church back in the day, turned Nazarene Baptist Church, he had a program, and the program was called The Devil's Funeral. There was a casket that was where a casket would be at the altar in the front of the church, and he performed the eulogy. He spoke about this devil. He talked about the acts, talked about the creation, talked about more things than I can recall at my young age. But what I can recall quite vividly was people going to view the body. So at the time where it was time to view the body, I saw some people get up, because it was a powerful sermon. It was an outright sermon, you know. You know how sermons are in the black church. So it was an outright sermon, homegoing. And some people walked up to that casket, and when they looked in the casket, they walked away with almost little or no expression. Some people looked in the casket and almost fell out and was crying, and a whole lot. So if I think about it, it was kind of like a funeral. Some people stood and pondered for a moment. Some people had some things to say. I was a drummer, so, you know, everybody going on, you know, I probably would have not even gone, but I wanted to see. So I went to view the body. And when I went and viewed the body, I was like, oh, that's what everybody talking about? It was a mirror. I can see the mirror behind me. See that? It's a glass, but I can see my reflection in that glass, and it's a mirror. So there's a mirror in it. And as I looked in that mirror, I didn't understand the lesson that was being taught. So today when I talk about choices, somehow it makes me reflect on the devil's funeral. Because if something inside of you died, there are certain choices that I think just won't be made. And your direction of choice and thoughts will be in a certain direction because of what remains. So I said a lot, but didn't say fully everything that I feel. I have a chair sitting next to me, next to this thing that's blowing here. I even thought about singing a little bit on this broadcast. Today was a day where I kind of had to talk about it at work, and I say, you know, you don't want to relive a day too much. Unless it's a good day, right? You know, you don't want something to happen and then it come back around. Hey, you remember when that, you know, we needed to fulfill that order, or something was going on with that, and now we living that day all over again. Could have been a year ago. Oh, customers missing parts. from something that was a year ago or broken, you know. So, and I'm using that to equate or draw a picture, a definition, allegory of sorts, to the direction of thought I'm trying to put forth. You know, if our decision making, which may not always be what we feel is ideal, are aligned with, you know, what is best for our future. If we coincide our memories, our moments, our emotions and choices, I have a very minimal doubt that things won't begin to unfold in the direction they need to be. I want to shout out Charlie. I don't know how to say your last name, Charlie, but it's with a C. If you comment on here, he done comment on a couple of other videos. People will know you. Guy's hilarious, man. And when I say that, I'm not saying that in any negative way. He's lived a life, and I'm sure riddled with choices. And he has a knack. Storage on this phone. Storytelling is what I was saying, Charlie. I want to give a shout out to all the fellas that work with me. Anybody who decides to watch this, I thank you for lending your time. If you're able to make it to this, thank you. My wife in particular is begin to motivate me in this direction also. My brother has been an outstanding individual in my life, as well as my mother. I love my sister, and because of my sister, I have found growth in many ways, and I'm thankful for that. I pray that her situations in many ways change so that she can be here with me on this broadcast as well, to give her take on things. So I talked to one of my nephews also, her son, and I talked to a few of my nephews now even in-laws, boy. It's in-law, but it's my family. That's love. It's something when we're able to have a conversation about a topic that is universal, that is a daily walking topic. The only reason I talk or run my mouth about this stuff is because I want people to at least, I just want thoughts. Thought normally tends to create an emotion, and when you got an emotion, then you're gonna have an urge to act on that emotion, whether it's you're excited and you want to jump up out your seat, or you mad and you ready to hit a wall. I mean, so I think it's necessary for us to have these conversations, and I'm going to continue to have these conversations. And I just, like I say, thank you to anybody who decides to stick around with me and garner your choices. Understand that other people's choices do affect you. Ultimately, you have control over you and your tools, your body, your mind, your choice, your actions. And it's not always easy to not feel what is going on. Feel it, acknowledge it. You utilize your awareness, acknowledge it, but be aware, be above the situation, because being immersed in it sometimes you don't care about what choice or how that choice may affect everything around you, everybody around you, or just specific details that might really just affect you. So, peace and blessings to everyone. I thank you, and until next time, I'll be thinking.